Hello everyone, I'm Silverraptor and welcome back to Warno. This time I'll be playing Red 4, and again I will be playing with Boltsauce, who's playing as Gandalf, I believe. And I am playing as the Force Machutsen. Again, trying out this game still, trying to get used to it. And I think we should just go ahead and go. So in the setup phase, I'm using the Force Machutsen, which has kind of a combination of airborne elements as well as a motorized element to it. What I mean about airborne is that airborne units can spawn a little zone outside of these starter zones here. So I decided to put some units in wheeled transports here, quickly rush to the enemy, and then get followed up by motorized or tracked vehicles of the rest of the rest of my army. And I decided to try to be cheeky. I thought with wheeled vehicles and spawning ahead, if I rush quickly, I can get all of my wheeled stuff into and cut them off from Foxtrot, and then I would be able to keep them out of Foxtrot and capture both Hotel and Foxtrot at the same time. It was a bit of a gamble, but I mean, I wanted to try to see if I could do it. And also moving some stuff over here to the right-hand side in order to take over, to make sure they don't try to do a flank around here. I know this would probably be a good area, but I'm not experienced enough to do it. I also started off with a MiG-21 BIS, just like Wargamer and Dragon. It has two missiles, and both missiles are able to shoot at helicopters. So the idea is, it finds a helicopter, like that Black Hawk there, if I can zoom in on it, and it will fire both of its missiles simultaneously at that helicopter and shoot it down in one pass. So that was the idea. I'm still trying to get used to how to do it. So both missiles do indeed fly, and it does destroy that Black Hawk as I suspected. So these do fire at the same time, and so this is a good helicopter killer, and it's really cheap, 155. So both missiles, but only one missile hits, and they actually bring in an F-15 to shoot it down. But I'm fine with that because that airplane was pretty cheap, and that helicopter did have some unit inside, so it did die. I have a CV capturing Hotel and everything, and I'm pushing forward. And as I was paying attention with all these instructions here, my units just kind of roll past their recon, their LRS recon squad here. And the Tow Cobra, which I failed to kill, is able to try to go and intercept my other UAZs. So my idea would have been sound. The problem is that if I had shot down the Tow Cobra, that would have succeeded. So I'm just like, oh no. So, and all of my units are still on their original order. I'm basically trying to evacuate, push them out. They're trying to get in position. This doesn't actually have anything to deal with their tanks. They only have a satchel charge, so they're just trying to fire M16s and F60s. Yes, the recon squads, some of them are pretending to be masquerading as NATO or false flags, so they've got like actual M16 and M60s for this. So it's funny. I'm moving my Iglis up. They almost shoot down the Tow Cobra, but unfortunately they do get taken out by some of their other units. I'm moving my recon up with their satchel charge just to see if I can get those satchel charges up, because I do know those satchel charges do quite a bit of damage. My Metes teams killed off the recon here, but one of them is routed. The other is only down to the last man. There's a sniper squad here who's doing quite a bit of damage against my infantry CV here. A Fighting Falcon's going after my Mi-24D and does not shoot it down, fortunately, but it is pretty badly damaged. And I tried to... the units weren't in the order that I bought them in with the deck, so when I clicked this really rapidly, I accidentally bought an anti-tank plane, not realizing it, because I was trying to buy the MiG-23 version that was the AA to shoot down that plane more quickly. So I'm just like, I bought the wrong plane. In the meanwhile, my flame tanks are up. They get destroyed really quickly. All I have are my Metes teams left, and my command vehicle was destroyed, and I'm just like, oh no. my attack completely failed, all because of that one tow cobra. So my I have mortars here. They're 120 millimeter towed mortars firing. They can load up into these vehicles if I so want, and they're just to basically pepper where I last saw the enemy and try to hold off. So as you can see, I'm not doing very well. My ally has a lot more of his troops still left alive, with the Conqueror's teams hitting the Abrams, not doing a whole bunch because they are Abrams, but he's contesting his area. Boltsauce has gotten Echo, and then this big sector here, Fishy, who had complete control of it. They just brought in his infantry CV, but he's getting a good unit spread, and he's got most control over this zone. He just needs to kill that CV at the start. Now I remember I looked away, and I came back, and I started realizing I have nothing left. My entire army pretty much died, so I am panic buying literally everything. I have a Shilka here that I guess I forgot to give orders, and so it's going to be forgotten about the whole game. So you can see, still noob at this game. I am, but I've got a good flanking cover over here. I've got a sniper squad to be able to check for enemy units and such. I've got a Shilka here so that I can shoot any infantry that might come across, and then I've got a T-55 with their missile. I forgot the name of it, and that's going to be able to cover this ground in case they try to do any kind of flank that I did not like. So at this point, I panicked. I'm like, I am completely collapsed and everything. I bring in my MiG-23 because I'm like, well, I bought this plane. I might as well use it to try to help out one of my allies. So I see the M1 IP Abrams. I'm sending it over to try to kill it for Fishy. And I fire the missile, and it does indeed take it out. Now, I didn't realize this. This missile actually only has a 35% accuracy. So whenever I used it, and whenever I looked, it was missing. So whenever I didn't look, I just clicked that tank and I went back to my zone, because you can see the plane still flying around. Whenever it fired at the target, wow, it got both? Because I missed that. I just clicked the order, it went back. I had no idea if it killed anything or not. Every time I saw the MiG-23, it just died. So that's why I'm kind of surprised here. So I am quickly pushing up. My Metis team died, probably due to the combination of the sniper and whatever. And in my mind, somehow, I had a really weird mindset. I thought that with all my forces died, the enemy actually advanced, and that somehow this zone became this zone in my mind. So I thought that I was basically trying to keep the enemy from getting complete control over my zone for the whole game. So I was very agitated and anxious and everything when I'm trying to bring everything in, and every unit I lost, I'm just like, feel like I'm completely going to collapse. And I think that was just because of that, how the first push didn't quite work due to like some of the mistakes I made and not realizing the map and everything. And so that kind of put me into a mistake mindset. And so this entire time I think I am desperately losing, all the while not realizing I'm actually the aggressor this whole game, until I've actually watched this replay. I'm like, wait, I actually was winning, and actually not only winning, a big contribution to our team as well, which you'll see in a moment. I saw some infantry moved up and to move the right recon over here to have a better eyes on. Moving the Cubs up for any enemy planes to come up, and I've got the T-55A to be the command tank because I suspected the enemy might shoot a bunch of artillery, but they do have towed too, so they are taking everything out. And so here I go, beginning to move up. ATGM takes out another BMP. I got brought over the TO-55, which is the same kind of like napalm that you get in Wargame Red Dragon. I thought that would actually be pretty good. Try to kill that. So yeah, just trying to restabilize the area while the rest of my allies are just trying to concentrate their forces to be able to break through. Like, remember, none of these troops were here about like 2 minutes ago. I'm literally bringing it all in. Sniper was spotted, T-55, manages to take it out, so they no longer have eyes on us. So that was definitely good. And also, with the T-55 as a command tank, this is actually increasing the veterancy of all nearby units, so all of these units are actually getting a +1. TO-55 is actually shooting at the TOW-2. Hit it once, but then gets taken out by it, so that was unfortunate. My Mi-24D I actually repaired up with this helicopter, the supply helicopter here. And then I use the supply helicopter later when I bring in the Smirch, which is also in this kind of deck. Overall, I really like the Force. It's actually a really solid unit. It doesn't have like the heaviest of tanks, but I mean, you really don't need it with everything else. So yeah, Mi-2 coming in because I have a thing like recon. I moved up to grenade launchers, so it's grenade launchers versus 50 cals and tow cobras. So with the combination of tow cobras, is able to go and prevent those from dying. I got a little mad, so I'm going to send in another MiG-21 BIS in order to try to take out those tow cobras. Tow cobras 130, so they're actually a little less than the cost of this MiG-21. So I go in, fire both missiles. Only didn't quite hit with the first pass and saw that they had quite a bit of AA, and that thing was instantly shot down. So Fighting Falcons were going for my Mi-24, but my Cubs were able to intercept. They are the lesser variant, but I mean, you have to take whatever AA you can, and I don't think they have the bucks in this division. But yeah, as you can see, I'm contesting this. We're at +1, and I'm the +1 because I am contesting their zone, but the entire time I'm thinking this is my zone that I'm losing. So that just led to, yeah, like I said, I was kind of like agitating over every lost group, every mistake that ever happened and such. So BMP-1 tried to fire at the TOW-2, going to fire again. Panics it a little bit, but that TOW-2's missile is going to fly true and hit it. AGMs are really strong in this game for right now. M1 Abrams is coming forward to shoot at my BMP as it tries to fire at it. Gets taken out before the missile can get in. Grenade launcher is firing at this TOW-2 because they 50 cal is out and there's no tow cobra to help out. And my Mi-24D gets taken out by, I guess that's a Chaparral. And another missile fires and doesn't actually take out my Mi-2. MiG-23 comes in. I think it was trying to fire at the Abrams. I don't know if it got it or not. It might have. It just might have. So the Fighting Falcon was shooting at the plane, but it flies over, gets over this Shilka, which had to quickly turn its turret, gets one last little burst, and just manages to nick it and takes out the F-16. So that was actually worth it in that bait going on. Meta's team actually... No, yeah, it has 1 HE. It can actually shoot at infantry, so it's actually firing at the TOW-2. As I'm moving up my recon, another one with satchel charges, trying to get up closer. As my Shilka comes forward to basically stun up the tow cobra, so it can no longer engage with these recon units. Sniper team is going to be coming in, and that is quite annoying as I'm moving my Mach shoots it back so that they can be resupplied quite quickly. They're also bringing artillery, so I'm going to try to retreat my recon as quickly as I can, but nope, artillery comes in and takes them out. That's unfortunate, so I'm going to be engaging with my mortars to try to hold back the enemy as I try to again bring in more reinforcements. Still a bit of a stalemate, but Fishy is extending more and more control over onto the left-hand side as he's pushing forward, trying to squeeze the enemy out of, gosh, what zone is this? I have no idea what the name of this zone is. Alpha, I just saw it, but gosh, that's... God, I wish it was a little bit easier. MiG-27's dropping bombs. Going to be shot down with all that AA firing at it. Yeah, it just went down. A lot of big bombs exploded. The Abrams disappeared, but I don't know if that was because it was destroyed or because they lost the recon line of sight. I just had a plane go in for the M1 Abrams, the MiG-23. It missed its shot and got shot down promptly, and that was like the only time that I saw those things in action. They just didn't hit their target, but whenever I didn't look, they apparently got their target because I remember seeing quite a few kills on their list, and I'm like, I don't remember these. Artillery's coming in, which is why I'm glad I have this armored unit. My truck is in danger of being destroyed, but I'm hoping that that's not the case. Machutsen are starting to move up, as Georgie has actually come over to help me out. This is Georgie over here on the left, making sure his right flank is secure. BMP-2s are coming forward, so Machutsen are going up to hold off the LRS who are trying to move forward. So backed up with the BMP-1, we did kill that. However, the Abrams did go and kill the BMP-2, so we are rapidly running out of vehicles and units again, so constantly need to throw in more units into the meat grinder. M1 Abrams are moving up. Ooh, that was actually a good hit. I'm not sure what exactly it is. It looks like these recoilless rifles, I think, are got it on the side. So that was actually pretty lucky on that case. So Zukov is now able to move up directly with this bridge. So he no longer has to take this route to go and bring his units up. He can actually come up and come over here due to the fact that I've got a little bit of a toehold into this zone. Again, I still think this is my zone. Artillery comes in and is landing. Again, the T-55 is armored, and that's why I picked it, because it's supposed to survive artillery, and this is kind of an obvious zone to artillery. I actually expected a lot more artillery on the T-55 directly, which never came. So, kind of glad for that. Bringing forward more recon units, more of the ones with the satchel charges, and I am beginning to fire smoke with my mortars. Abrams took a hit from whatever ATGM units ATGM comes from the BMPs. Did a little bit of damage, but it's just one, so not the best there. So the smokes are coming up. I didn't know how much smoke spread I needed, but it's working. As the infantry are moving up, the Abrams has not engaged yet. Rangers are actually trying to move up outside of the smoke, go right into these guys. These guys instantly are engaging. They fired a demolition charge, instantly blew up the last little bit of those Rangers. They're also going to be moving up as another MiG-23 comes forward, misses its target, and instantly gets shot down. So that's why I'm just like, I'm not sure I like these MiG-23s, not realizing that it killed all the stuff over here. So yeah, watching replays is actually good to show that sometimes it's not as bad as you thought it was. Sometimes it's also worse. Alright, so I'm now contesting where they actually have infantry CV. They actually have to bring up a tow cobra to try to hold me off. But Georgie has Afghansky, which are stunning them up. An F-16 with cluster is coming forward. But Cubs able to shoot it down. Where'd the bombs go? Did it drop bombs? I didn't see any cluster drop, so maybe it didn't actually drop any bombs. As my recon are going over to try to shoot back at the sniper squad. They're at a little bit of a disadvantage, but I'm just hoping that maybe something worthwhile can come from that. But yeah, again, I'm kind of tunnel vision on this zone. I'm trying to avoid any kind of loss of the zone to try to keep our enemies in the fight. But again, I'm the only reason why we're contributing to the +1. I don't know why I didn't look at the team score or put all the evidence was there that I was actually winning. I just, with the first mistake, I was just in the mindset that I was losing. That MiG-21 actually finally killed that tow cobra, which has caused me so much trouble. So I'm so glad that that was able to happen. The smoke is still out, which will allow me to move my troops forward. The supply vehicle, which was in this forest and badly hurt, I moved over. It's out in the open, but it's behind the building, which is keeping it hidden from the enemy. So they can't really target or know exactly where it is. My mortars constantly fire from this position. I'm so glad he didn't counter artillery. It was always on my mind, so I was worried about that. I have brought in the Spurge, try to help out my ally. And yeah, here comes the rockets. So come forward, yeah. Landing over here, did quite a bit of damage to those Abrams and such, and forcing the enemy to fall back. After this merch is done, I'm going to go over to where the supply helicopter is to resupply it. I had brought in a artillery, but I put it on return fire, so that if in case the enemy was a little lax of moving their artillery, it would just start constantly shelling it and take that out. So again, this time I'm going for another push. I'm trying to push the enemy out of quote-unquote my zone. So it leads forward with the satchel charge in order to be able to engage the infantry. And to spot that there's an Abrams here. Mach shoots it, move off to the side, able to get an RPG-7. Misses the Dragon, so they have to reload as quickly as they possibly can. Again, miss. The Abrams has to smoke because from the Mach shoots, which are moving up. As my recon squad is routed, the RPG is taken out as they're bringing in artillery once again to stop my push. And they're bringing forward another tow cobra. Arrow rifles pushed hard into here. I'm not entirely sure. I actually didn't know that happened. So I'm glad my Shoko was able to do the thing necessary to keep them out. And yeah, I missed that they put recon here. I was just so focused on this. Machutsin are kind of a mix. Some are on the retreat. The wounded ones are on the retreat. The fresh unit is going to be moving up, see if they can take out the CB. Tow Cobra takes them out. And the destruction is, a lot of these buildings are now leveled, taken out. Oh, and this is another annoying thing that he was doing, and I had to respond to, moving my cups back and forth. Whenever his supply helicopters were empty, because you can't resupply them because there's no FOB, he just took them and he just flew them over my units to try to get a bird's eye view of what was going on. And so I had to manually keep targeting to shoot them because I haven't set manually targeted supply, but I might change that in the future. And so he was getting free recon there. That was irking me, but I also admired him for his ingenuity. So, got in, going to try to take out again these mech rifles division. My mortars are also preparing to launch either smoke or regular smoke. It is. They're dropping more smoke so that my Machutsu, who are now fully repaired and everything, can heal up. BMP-1s are also moving over to the left. They're firing their cannons, but they're only at 5% accuracy, so I don't really expect them. TOW 2's coming forward. Manages to kill one of the BMP-1s, but the other one gets into the forest, which obscures the view of the TOW 2 to be able to return fire. As I'm pushing forward with all of these Machutsu, but also Panzerjägers, which have 2 RPGs, and unlike the Machutsu, which are 18 armor penetration, these are both 20. These are close-range tank killers, though they have even less range than the Machutsu. So these are really good at like forests and towns, and that you expect to encounter up close a lot of tanks or everything, or a lot of vehicles. These are good to intersperse with your infantry. So relying on the Machutsu to kill the infantry, the Panzerjäger will kill the vehicles is my thought. Also, you can use probably a good combination with napalm infantry as well. Airspace 2 or 3 napalm per 1 Panzerjäger squad, depending upon what you expect to meet in the enemy. So under the cover of all this smoke, my infantry are just moving forward. Machutsu is going to move up, try to find vehicles. Panzerjäger is going to try to get through this forest and try to go up to the Abrams. While the enemy is moving up, their engineers and everything are trying to engage with the Machutsu. But the Machutsu are right on top of the engineers. They can't really actually engage their flash. They're engaging this Machutsu instead. I'm trying to kill these flash engineers so they can no longer use their napalm rockets on my Machutsu. That's not quite working out. I also see the TOW Cobra in waiting, so I'm bringing up more AA as well. My Metas team, I have to actually manually tell to shoot at this M113 to get rid of that. Panzerjäger is moving up and is actually aiming with his RPGs, taking out Humvees, so they can't overfire on that. I'm trying to get it to go towards this M1A1 Abrams and see if it can get that. TOW Cobra, however, comes up and starts shooting at them, stunning them up. And they are aiming, and they both missed their shot. But I saw that there was one last man who's able to double fire both RPGs, so that's something that should be looked after. Mortars are moving up because I realized the smoke's run out. Got to reapply that. Or no, I'm just going to put regular mortar strikes on here due to the fact that, well, my push has failed again. All these pushes, again, are trying to get the enemy out of the zone, which I thought I was losing, not realizing I was engaging into basically his defensive position of his zone. So it was an interesting mindset. That first kind of like, you know, how everything didn't work out put me into like a mistake mindset where all of the mistakes I made just amplified in my head, and all the achievements either went overlooked or didn't seem significant enough to account for the number of losses I did. But looking at this again, I'm actually surprised at just how well I did. I'm still keeping a presence. I'm able to kind of push up about halfway before I have to retreat and go back down. All the buildings are leveled, so if he wants to move infantry, they'll be out in the open as they move up. My Machuten are in the middle of being routed as they were trying to retreat back, and they constantly keep pushing forward. T-55 engages and kills that flash unit, and that just leaves the M1A1 Abrams left. And my Smirch is again firing cluster munitions over here, tries to see if they have anything else left there. UAZs, it took so long for the infantry to call back. The UAZs just now came up. I'm lucky that he smoked out because these Iglas would have died immediately if he was the one who smoked. So UAZs are actually under attack by the mech rifles, who actually, this command unit has laws, so they can actually kill units. The Iglas actually have to engage them with their AK-74s, not just like, wait, what are you guys doing here? I need to retreat you. Menace team is going to actually open fire against this sniper squad here, trying to take them out. Again, mortars coming in for another smoke barrage to keep the enemy's tank from killing these Iglas immediately as they're in retreat. And I'm just waiting for more points and my next round of reinforcements to finally come in for defense. F-16 came forward as my MiG-21 BIS. I saw that there was a helicopter here. I thought it was just a scout helicopter, so it shot that down. I called an evac for the MiG-21. And this time, this is the unit that I tried to call in when I accidentally bought the AT MiG-23. A MiG-29. It's got radar and infrared missiles going after that F-16, which tried to engage with this AIM-9M, but given that it has double the missiles, I was able to kill that out. Instantly going to call to evac that, so that because it did its purpose. So now I've got a MiG-29 that is now a scrap and is flying towards the ground because some kind of AA shot it down. So that was unfortunate. That contributed to my feeling. Bring for my Mi-24P. Trying to hold off the mech rifles. I bought another MiG-23 as a desperation to try to take out because there's two M1A1s. I said, okay, this is it. This is their final push to completely push me out of the zone. And it seems like my artillery or something actually killed the CB because it is gone. It's destroyed. MiG-23 comes in and does not kill either of the Abrams. And so now it has to evacuate after it's expended both of its missiles. Smoke goes out as my next round of reinforcements actually arrive just on time. So they actually can't get close, but this is like the buildings that I have. He can't get too close because I have two Panzer Jaegers here, and those will wreck any Abrams that get too close. Mi-24P is engaging with its Kokon missiles. There's 3 Abrams here now, and I am panicking quite a bit. Maliuka is just ganging up onto that Abrams. The Abrams taking quite a bit of damage. The Mentis missile misses thanks to the smoke. Panzer Jaegers are just firing all those RPGs, point blank range. 4 shots, just instant kill, and instantly start turning on to firing on the Abrams. Huge air battle in the sky. I have absolutely no idea. There's pure chaos. The seed is flying overhead. My Cubs radar were on, but the seed missiles never fired that in. The Abrams died to all the RPGs as their infantry who were coming from the tank are now caught out in the open because all the tanks died. Moving forward my BMPs in hunt mode to try to take them out, but since all these buildings are leveled, the BMPs can actually see through what used to be buildings, just instantly engaged against the enemy infantry. And so now they have to decide to call in artillery onto my units who are in this building and try to take me out. And they actually also killed my T-55 and recaptured this dome. So I said, well, that's it then. I've lost control of my zone. I need to bring another CV. No! Because all this time that I was fighting and holding on to this and giving us the +1 lead, by the time I lost this, Georgy Zhukov won his zone. Boltsauce won his zone. My MiG-21 was flying around, shooting at helicopters, and I forgot about it again. I'm bad at that. Look at this unit spread of Fishy. So he's pushing. He's about won this zone. So when I finally lost my zone, or rather the contesting zone, is about the time that everyone finally won theirs. So I contributed to a +1 that entire time, allowing them to do the knockout blow, pushing us up to a +5. I am having my mortars drop smoke here, I think because there was like the Bradleys, because I didn't want them to see my units pushing up. As I move forward, my Mach shoots in and Panzerjägers. They're all damaged and hurt, but this building is completely leveled. And they weren't going to make it back. I didn't think so. I just like, what I can do is try to move up and do as much damage as I possibly can, especially against these Jaegers. The Mach shoots in and the BMP-1 are trying to engage and do as much damage as they possibly can. Panzerjägers are moving up, but they're just going to... I didn't have a move command. I just have hunting for any kind of tank or everything that they can find. And there's a dragon here. And I instantly tell them, alright, go ahead and kill that dragon. For some reason they couldn't see that right there. There we go. Instantly killed that out as a F-111 with laser guided bomb is going to be moving up. My Cubs are already engaging it. Do quite a bit of damage and takes it out. These Cubs have been had done so well today. They're actually max elite veterancy due to all the kills that they were finally doing. Bringing in another Acacia for cover fire or counter artillery, and the MiG-21 finally realized it was there and evac'd it, but it survived, just constantly going around. Fishy won his zone, but there's a massive tank push coming forward, leading with the command tank that's somewhat interesting. As you can see, all the T-80s are opening forward, killed the command tank, and that destroyed the veterancy of all the rest of those units. Panzerjägers moving forward, finally ran out of RPGs, and the game then comes to an end. And at this point, I saw, and my first thought was, and I said this out loud in the voice chat with Bolt, how did I have a positive KDR? Because I'm like, I was losing that whole game. That's what I thought. So, I know you guys are probably rolling your eyes, like, why do you keep saying that? Because I thought so. And I just thought that I did so well, even though I thought I was losing. It's just amazing to me. So yeah, that MiG-23 MF that I accidentally called in the start killed the M1 IP Abrams, killed a Fox, and actually killed the CV Abrams, so that got that zone under my control temporarily. So these actually are not too bad. They have a little bit of longer range. The missiles tend to go top down, so it goes against the top armor, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but it does seem to one-shot a lot of tanks that they were targeting when they hit. As I said, they have like 30-35% accuracy, so yeah, take your pick if you want this or you want the Su-22, which has more accurate missiles but shorter range, that has to, closer range it has to get to before it can fire those missiles. Cub shot down a whole lot of fighters. The other Cub that went with it is not on the kill board because that first Cub would damage the unit, and this would finish it off with the blow because the planes would come in and fly off into this arc, and those two Cubs, both spread out, were able to hit it with a 1-2 punch each and every time. Mortars actually killed the sniper and the tow squad, and the recon killed it with those satchel charges, the CV infantry that I was trying to go for. Smirch actually killed an Hempt and a Chaparral and a couple of supply trucks, so all it did was destroy some supply, probably mostly empty supplies, so I need to get better at using the Smirch later, but yeah, that was it for now. But also those Panzerjägers, the 2-stack Panzerjägers firing 4 RPGs at the same time, those M1 Abrams who got so close did not have a chance, not a prayer to be able to survive that. MiG-23 MF even killed a HA Abrams, so these things are pretty darn good. So anyways, that was it. I like this Red 4 unit. I'll try to get some more. I'll also need to get more experience as well going forward. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to get more Warno content out to you guys in the future. Have a good day.